It's the Shitcase Cinema.
Tell him about the worms.
Worms?
Hello! Now I'm really pumped up after my last movie review, you know, that Steven Seagal classic Out of Reach, but if you're expecting a Christmas movie review, you're going to be disappointed, but I promise I will try my best to find at least one Christmas related theme. Man, this is really heavy. Clearly not pumped up enough. So the movie begins with some text informing us of an electrical storm that sent thousands of volts into the muddy ground in Fly Creek. So what do we see next? Yep, electricity being zapped into the muddy ground in Fly Creek. Didn't see that coming. Nor did I see screaming bloodworms coming either. Guess they don't like being zapped by thousands of volts. So we're introduced to Jerry and her fussing mother and some gimp in the garden called Roger.
Hope nothing got flooded in the shop.
I stacked everything off the floor last night.
No, ma'am, Miss Saunders, ma'am.
Him coming.
What? Was that even English? They all sound like they've got a mouthful of marbles. Roger, that's about as clear as what I got from that. Gobbledygook. Anyway, Jerry wants to pick up a new boyfriend from the airport and needs Roger's truck to get there in time.
I promise I'll be real careful.
You can borrow the loan of the truck, but be careful of them crates.
I don't know what it is already about this guy, but he fascinates me, from his voice to his face expressions to his tombstone teeth. I'm going to call it out now and say he'll become a shitcase legend before the end of the film. Now, Jerry's boyfriend Mick is on his bus, but the road is flooded, so he decides to get off and walk through the woods with all his luggage, tennis racket and fishing rod included. Ah yeah, just what any normal person would decide to do in that situation.
You wouldn't know where there's a men's room around here, would you?
You're in the middle of the woods, you goon. Now, I'm aware that many great bad horror films are set in the woods, like two shitcase gems, Camp Blood and Grim Weekend.
Let's go find Susan. Susan? We're looking for her! Susan! Let's go find Susan.
But this sadly isn't one of those films. Let me get this straight. Mick doesn't have any idea of where he's going. He doesn't have a compass or anything like that. Oh no, he sinks into the bog. How convenient. Jerry's there to laugh at her numbnuts boyfriend almost drown. But wait, did she set that as a trap for him? I don't trust her. I mean, look at that face. Can you trust that face? I don't think so. Maybe she's a mutant bloodworm or something in disguise. There's got to be more to this movie than meets the eye. Come on.
I like a good thunderstorm. Makes you feel helpless.
What is he talking about? Yeah, that's the kind of quality dialogue you get in this film. And I don't know what angle you're trying to play, Mick. You love to feel helpless in a thunderstorm. I just don't know what your angle is, boy. I hope a fucking bloodworm gets you soon and kills you. See, I would just love to fast forward and just say, hey, let's just jump straight to this death scene because I don't like him and see a bloodworm kill him or 1,000 bloodworms kill him. But no, this motherfucker lives, I'm sorry to say. So I'm sure we'll get plenty more wonderful dialogue from him.
Makes you feel helpless.
So helpless Mick is enjoying a drink in a local cafe when this happens.
Hey!
A worm. A screaming worm. See, that's what I'd be freaked out by, but the locals think Mick put it there as a prank or something because he just didn't like the drink.
If you didn't like the drink, all you had to do was say so. I've got enough problems around here without comedians.
What? I found it in the glass. I didn't put it there.
Then it's the sheriff's turn to give him some grief.
And don't you think an apology is in order, fella?
Poor fella. Doesn't seem like anyone likes Mick.
Hey, why is everybody around here so unfriendly?
'Cause you're a gimp and thick as pig shit when you find a skeleton in the ground.
Whoa. Who do you suppose it is?
How can you not know what a human skeleton is? Are people seriously this dumb in real life? So somehow Roger's truck full of worms have disappeared and nobody knows how. Naturally he's annoyed and so is his old man who owns the bait shop.
Maybe the door was loose and you forgot to close the crates.
Damn right he forgot. He'd forget his head if it wasn't fast. He doesn't have his mind business at all these days.
Gobbledygook. So he gives Roger a load of grief, but hey, come on man, don't give Roger grief. Give it to this bozo. No one likes him. I mean, look at the mother's face when she's introduced to him. Daggers. That's what that expression is, daggers. Now later on, Mick and Jerry see Roger having a beer and invite him to go fishing with them.
Jerry and I are going to go fishing. You want to come with us?
I'll meet you down by the boat.
Okay.
Great. And you can show me how to use a new reel I bought, huh?
Look at that face. Someone else now doesn't like our main man. The list just gets bigger and bigger.
What is that smell anyway?
Low tide. You can't even swim in here. I don't know how the fish stay alive.
Maybe they come from New York.
Oh, Roger. I've got no idea what you're talking about, but it's funny because it's you.
Come out of ground, all right.
Oh, New York! Gobbledygook. Oh, dear me. The worms don't even like Mick, but he mashes it because he's such a man's man. Then he wants to be dropped off, and he runs away into the woods because he's such a pussy. This is straight up bullshit. There's no two ways about it.
The little mother bit me. Jesus Christ.
Oh, and I'm struggling to find any kind of Christmas theme, so that reaction will just have to do. Merry Christmas!
Jesus Christ.
So Roger decides that now is the time to make his move, because isn't it just so obvious that he's got a thing for Jerry?
Well, if he come near you again, I'm gonna bust his liver loose if he tries to touch you.
Wow, such wonderful dialogue, the work of a true thespian. But Jerry isn't interested and pushes him away, and then suddenly worms are tearing off his face. That is priceless. That has got to be one of the best death screams ever produced. I love it. Keep going, Roger. Carry on. Go on, boy. Keep running. Oh, God damn, I got worms on my face. Mick then does some detective work and concludes that a skull he finds in a shed belongs to some antiques dealer. I think this is the guy. I don't know. I was struggling to keep attention with this at times. But why don't they just go to the sheriff and report this kind of stuff? Oh yeah, because he doesn't like Mick. And you know something? For a town ravaged by a storm only the previous night, it looks mighty fine to me. But maybe I'm just nitpicking. You know, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It makes no sense. Moving on, there's a really pointless and awkward dinner scene. Now, first point, 4 people eating, yeah? 2 bloody roast chickens right there. Now that's just greedy. Turns out Roger was invited, but when the mother asks where he is, they just say he's busy with work. You might as well just be honest. Ah, Mama, Roger's got a face full of worms. Because she wouldn't react any differently anyway. She always seems spaced out most of the time. And oh, Mick, you clumsy bastard. And her reaction is priceless. That boy has no fans. Such a shame that the worms don't get him. But speaking of, where are these thousands of worms anyway? But no time for them because a tree randomly collapses, taking out half of the house. What did that? Thousands of worms, of course. Now Mick runs to get some gas so he can annihilate them all, but when he gets back, they've disappeared. Then he realises that it's the electricity in the ground that is forcing the worms up. Then he says he needs to buy some plywood to fix the doors so it keeps the worms out. Sorry Mick, half of the house just got fucking obliterated. I don't know what goes through your brain at times. Good stuff, yeah? I just don't know where I keep finding this rat piss. Now here's my top 5 random bullshit moments. Number 1, when Mick pops into a local cafe, some old geezer starts talking his ear off for no reason.
Yep, that was the worst storm we've had since I was knee-high to a duck.
Can't quite remember his lines there by the sounds of it. Number 2, the sheriff loves to call Mick fella.
Then why'd you go and do a juvenile thing like that, fella? Where are you from, fella? An apology is in order, fella? I intend to, fella. Now listen, fella.
Number 3, running into a restaurant when people are eating spaghetti probably isn't the best time to start ranting about biting worms.
Tell him about the worms.
Worms?
They bite.
Number 4, the sheriff is in a bed in his jail with his wife or whatever, and this happens.
Don't. I'm not doing anything.
And a dramatic pause. Dramatic pause. Brilliant. The thing is, moments before that, they look directly at the worms and don't even acknowledge them. As always, words just fail me. Number 5, worms managed to kill a bunch of people in the bar, but surely just stamping on them would suffice. Nah, screaming and falling over to your death is a way to do it, apparently. Why would they even do that? Jesus Christ. Anyway, Mick finds some plywood in the middle of the woods when he's attacked by the one and only Roger, who is looking a little worse for wear.
And now you're coming down here and you spoil everything. You're gonna be spoiled. You're gonna be the worm face.
And he commences to throw some plywood down on Mick that knocks him out despite it being as thick as cardboard, and a few logs for good measure. Evil bastard. There's something about it that just gets funnier with multiple viewings.
You gonna be the worm face!
Not exactly sure how that makes him a worm-faced Roger, but whatever, you're the shitcase legend, not me. Not exactly Neil Breen or Richard Harrison or any other legend over the years, but you're not bad. Nah, you'll do. Meanwhile, worms have managed to get into Jerry's house. If only Mick had got back with those 2 pieces of plywood in time.
Is the front door closed?
Uh-huh. But I left the back door open. Try to get some fresh air.
What? Half of the house is just demolished, you stupid bint. Oh look, she walked straight into Wormface. Not sure how she didn't see him right in front of her, but hey ho. You know, one thing is clear from watching this film. The filmmakers clearly didn't give one fuck when making this dirge. Okay, so wrapping this gem up, Mick is going around shirtless thinking he's Rambo with a candle, and then Roger jumps out at him. Suddenly nighttime is over a second later, and then Roger becomes worm food. So it's time to climb out onto a tree to escape the worms, because worms can't climb. Kinda reminds me of Tremors, but anyway. Oh look, it's nighttime again now. How awesome is that? Roger is back for more action, but then he's bashed over the head with a torch a few times. And they stay in the tree until sunrise when this sole workman turns up.
I thought you lovebirds might want to know the power's on, tower's repaired, everything's good as new.
Good as new? Hang on, you lying old bastard. Are you telling me that you fixed the entire town's problems, including all of this that we can see right now? You goon! Time for what the bloody hell is Roger saying challenge. If you can make out what this redneck wormface is saying, I bestow the title of Shitcase Legend on your head.
No, ma'am, Miss Saunders, ma'am. Yeah, I told you it's the zoo bride. You ain't got no good way to go, boy. She's mine. She always was mine. You gonna be the worm face.
Gobbledygook. This is coma-inducing at times, and the only way to engage and or enjoy it is to be off your tits on some seriously mad shit. Saying that, for a very low-budget mid-70s horror, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's got plenty to make fun of, but it knows its limitations. You can get a good laugh out of it at times. Not always, like I said, it is dull at points, but you've got to put up with the rain if you want the rainbow. 3 out of 10. Man, what a way to end the year. That was awful. I managed to hold this thing in 2 hands, by the way, now. It's so heavy. So all that's left for me to say is Merry Christmas, and I wish you all the best for the new year. Cheerio.
You're gonna be spoiled. You're gonna be the worm face.